Hi, thanks. My name is Gidudu Silver, the initiator nurturing sustainable generations. Now we are still continuing on our key environmental issue 2, and that was long-term health of our ecosystems or habitats conservation. Now, under habitats conservation, we first looked at environmental degradation as was in our introduction last week. Now, the definition for environmental degradation was that environmental degradation referred to the deterioration of the environment through depletion of resources such as the quality of air, water, and soils, the destruction of the ecosystems, habitats destruction, the extinction of wildlife, and pollution. It is therefore defined as the change or disturbance to the environment perceived to be deleterious or undesirable. That was according to the United Nations Environmental Program. That's how they defined environmental degradation. So we were still looking at the key terms that were in this definition. We've heard of ecosystem destruction of ecosystems, habitats destruction, the extinction of wildlife. Now we talked about most of these things in the first video. In the first video last week, and we said today we are going to talk about pollution. So we are going to look at pollution and probably it's what causes pollution, and then the various forms of pollution in this video. So I invite you to this video. You're most welcome. Please stay hoping for the best, because I've really brought lots for you. Thank you as we explore options about pollution under the Nurturing Sustainable Generations movement. According to here, now environmental pollution or pollution has various definitions which may exist and may not recognize certain types, such as noise pollution or greenhouse gases. Now, pollution has several definitions. Some of them may not recognize other types like noise pollution or greenhouse gas pollution. Now, the United States Environmental Protection Administration Agency defines pollution as any substance in water, soil, or air that degrade the natural quality of the environment, offend the semen of sight, taste, smell, or cause a health hazard. The usefulness of the natural resource is usually impaired by the presence of pollutants and contaminants. We are going to look at pollutants. What do we mean when we say pollutants, and what do we mean when we say contaminants? In contrast, the UN or the United Nations considers pollution to be the presence of substance and heat in environmental media, in brackets air, water, and land, whose nature, location, or quantity produces undesirable environmental effects. That is the United States, according to the UN or the United Nations. That is our definition for environmental. Just to repeat, the United States Environmental Protection Administration Agency defines pollution as any substance in water, soil, or air that degrade the natural quality of the environment, offend the semen of sight, taste, smell, or cause a health hazard. The usefulness of the natural resource is usually impaired by the presence of pollutants or contaminants. And we said we are going to look at pollutants and contaminants. What do we mean by those words? Now, in In another way, or in contrast, the United Nations considers pollution to be the, now this is the next definition from the United Nations. It considers pollution to be the presence of substances and heat in environmental media, in brackets air, water, and land, whose nature, location, or quantity produces undesirable environmental effects. Those are the two definitions of environmental pollution or pollution. Now, pollutants. In our definition, we said we are going to define pollutants and contaminants. Now, a pollutant is a waste product that pollutes the environment, such as air, water, soil, or soil. A pollutant is a waste product that pollutes the environment, such as the air, water, or the soil. Pollutants are determined by three factors. Pollutants are determined by three factors. One is its chemical type. Two is its concentration. Three is the extent of damage or the duration of damage. That's the factor that determines a pollutant. Now, a contaminant. A contaminant or contamination is the process of contamination is the presence of a constituent impurity. The presence of a constituent impurity or some other undesirable element that spoils, corrupts, infects, makes unfit, or makes inferior a material, physical body, natural environment, or workplace. The presence of a constituent impurity or some other undesirable element that spoils, corrupts, infects, makes unfit, or makes inferior a material, physical body, natural environment, or workplace. That is a contaminant. Contaminants can be there. Noise can be a contaminant. Those are the definitions. So, and we are saying briefly on contaminants now. Briefly on contaminants and pollutants. Pollutants, the component of pollution, can either be foreign substances, energies, or naturally occurring contaminants. Although environmental pollution can be caused by natural events, the word pollution generally implies that the contaminants have an anthropogenic source, that is, a source created by human activities. The components of pollution can either be foreign substances, energies, or naturally occurring contaminants. Although environmental pollution can be caused by naturally occurring events, the word pollution generally implies that the contaminants have an anthropogenic or human source. That's what they are talking about. So in our next video, we are going to bring brief history and know more about environmental pollution. I thank you.